Hey guys, it's Vara, and today I wanted to talk about my gaming predictions for 2019. I recently did one like this for Magic the Gathering, so I will link that down below, but let's just get right into my 2019 predictions. So the first one is a really unfortunate one, and that is bad business practice and more bait and switches like Fallout 76 or just EA in general, like Bethesda and EA. I do think that this will continue into 2019, and I really hate to say that because, Bethesda hasn't always been the worst company. It's never been the best company, but I do think that 2018 was really, really awful for Bethesda, and I don't think that they will do this again, at least in 2019, but I feel like with EA, just the loot boxes and the general toxicity of the gaming industry right now will just continue, and I do think that, unfortunately, we will see more of these bait and switch problems in 2019, and I don't want to say that, but with how bad it's gotten in Q3 and Q4 of 2018, I just see it continuing on, maybe ending mid-2019, but I do definitely think that, unfortunately, bad business practices are here to stay, at least for right now. I hope that, this doesn't happen, and I hope that I'm wrong here, but I do, unfortunately, think that it's kind of inevitable at this point, and we're kind of already seeing some of the problems, even like Atlas, it was such a bait and switch. It is even just a reskin of Ark, and people even found just the straight up information on that. But yeah, I do think that, unfortunately, maybe it's with games, maybe it's with merchandise, I do think that this will continue. So the next thing that I would guess, and that my prediction is less remasters and more original or new titles. I feel like 2018 was 90% remasters. We saw Spyro, we saw Crash Bandicoot, we saw so many, remasters. And we even saw the consoles, the practically remaster consoles, like the PlayStation Classic or the NES Classic, all these classics and minis that are just remakes and just re-releases, I guess you could say, just re-releases in general. And they might be remastered or they might just be re-released, but I do think that we will see less of this whole genre in 2019, and I definitely think that we're going to be seeing more new titles. There are a lot of new titles that have been talked about. We are seeing something like Kingdom Hearts 3 come out in 2019. Gonna be great. We've seen talk about Cyberpunk 2077 and Outer Worlds. These are games that might not eventually end up coming out until late 2019, maybe even 2020, besides Kingdom Hearts, because we already know when Kingdom Hearts 3 is coming out. But I think that we will just see more main titles actually releasing and less of the remasters. I think the remaster phase is really done for right now. I do think that we will maybe see a couple things trickle in, but I do think that that phase is done, and I liked the phase at first. It wasn't a bad phase, but I felt like after a while, like mid-2018, I was just already really sick of it, and at this point, I'm just ready to see new titles. But going along with that prediction is, it's going to be a development year, I think. In my prediction, it's going to be more of a development year. We'll see a less quantity of games and more quality games coming out in 2020. I think that 2019, we won't see a lot of titles. I definitely think what we'll be releasing is very nitpicky and picky and choosy in a way. And that just, we'll see a lesser quantity of titles, we won't see so many games bombarding the market and just really, really higher class and higher quality titles come out in 2020. I just think that we won't see as many titles come out this year, and, I really like the idea of that. I felt like 2018 was just so many titles. Of course, there were great quality titles. Look at something like God of War, amazing game. Spider-Man, amazing game. But I just think that it'll be a heavy development year, and we won't see as many games come out in 2019. I think that 2020, with new consoles most likely releasing in 2020, I think that 2020 is going to be a huge year for gaming, but I feel like 2019 is really leading up to that. A lot of the consoles, even Xbox, they're not creating first-party titles anymore. A lot of the titles that are on these systems, and the next generation of games are being developed. So definitely think that 2019 is going to be just a more, maybe lacking is the word, a more lacking year, because I wish that there was going to be more titles, but I think that we're going to see less titles. And one of the last things that I have a prediction about is censorship will be at an all-time high, even higher than, in 1994 when the ESRB was created and there were so many problems with like Mortal Kombat or Night Trap. I just think that 2019 will be a very heavy censorship year. I mean, 2018 has been quite a heavy year on censorship, and I mean, I have even started talking about it on the channel. If you didn't know, I'm sure that you know, because it's kind of my thing now. I love talking about censorship and really bringing a light to it. But I feel like we're going to see a lot more of it in 2019, and maybe even 2019 is really when, maybe towards the end of the year is really when we are going to stop seeing censorship. I feel like the beginning of the year is going to be huge. It's going to be really heated, but then there's just going to be a point where it just like slaps on the table and it's just done. Like, of course censorship will never be done, but I feel like this huge craze of companies like Steam and Sony just censoring everything, I feel like that's going to really come to a slowdown. At least I'm hoping, but I feel like 2019 will really be huge for censorship. I mean, 2018, like I said, has been huge already. I feel like those are my really important predictions for gaming in 2019. I feel like there's going to be a lesser quantity of games, but a huge development year. I feel like censorship will be at an all-time high, and I feel worst company choices will be at an all-time high, but you will have to let me know your thoughts on my predictions down below, or even your predictions that I didn't really talk about. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a like, and if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either which way, but I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll talk to you guys again really soon. Hey there, thank you so much for sticking around until the end of the video. You should click that subscribe button, and there are plenty of ways to show support to the channel, such as following me on Twitter, joining the Dark Titans Discord server, or even chipping in on Patreon and becoming a Dark Titan yourself. I'll see you all in the next video.